Uh, a group of us living right around the mobile home where I was living in Shreveport, Louisiana. We were all taken one night, out of sleeping as we were taken out of our bedrooms and put on little I call them sleds, but I don't know, it looked like a board, maybe a surfer's board or something. You stood on it, and there was an operator, a gray, at the end of it, um, who kind of was like operating this board and making it go and carry us out to the UFO that was waiting in a meadow behind the trailer park, which was concealed by a lot of forest and trees. From the mobile homes, you would never know that meadow was back there, but it was, and that's where the UFO set down. And it was probably maybe from my mobile home. It may have been maybe I'm gonna say at the most 500 yards. I don't know if it was even that far, maybe 250, 300. But we were taken out there, a whole bunch of us from several different homes. There were children, there were adults. Uh, we were crowded into the middle of this UFO, and of course, as always, you don't feel anything when you're lifting off or moving. I mean, you don't feel anything. As far as you know, you're just standing still. But where we were taken, how far away from the meadow we were taken, I have absolutely no idea. Uh, and I don't recall anyone else in the group that I talked to about it later that had any recollection of how much time was spent on all this, where we went, or any details like that. But at any rate, after we were taken away in the smaller craft, um, we were taken to a bigger ship, probably, I guess, I'm just guessing, say a mothership. And we were all escorted into this larger area. And it was pretty big inside in the middle. It was kind of like an arena, you might say. It was open, and the adults were then separated from the children, and the adults were placed. And when I say placed, we didn't have much ability to move ourselves. We were kind of being manipulated physically, and I don't know exactly how, but it's like we were taking baby steps, not moving very far. It was hard or difficult for us to actually walk or move our bodies. We were kind of in a limbo state. But at any rate, we were escorted into a little seating area where we could sit on. It reminded me of a tiny little baseball field or football field box where a select group sit with bleachers, like to view the sport taking place out in the arena.
Yeah.
But in this particular case, it was no sport. We were all sitting there. We were separated by a very thick but clear. It seemed to me glass, but I don't know if it was glass or plastic or I don't know what they had, because it was something alien made. But in other words, it's very clear we could see through it out into the area there that I was talking about, like an arena. And then very quickly, the children were brought in there. There were several of them. I don't remember exactly, maybe three or four. They were brought out there, and they were told that Barney was coming to visit them, and there was a fake Barney, like a stuffed animal or something like that, or could have been an alien inside. I don't really know, but it wasn't a real Barney. But at any rate, the children, they didn't have a restriction on their mobility as we adults did. They were still pretty much the way they were normally. But at any rate, they all got excited that they had been brought to see the real Barney. And so they were all kind of bouncing around there, all excited, waiting on Barney to come out. And then Barney came out. And when Barney, the real Barney, came out, the real Barney was a dinosaur, a small dinosaur, and it gnashed its teeth. It was anything but pleasant. The children began to run and scream, and this Barney chased them down. And of course, the parents and we adults sitting there in the bleacher were becoming hysterical at what we were seeing. I actually saw, and God is my witness, I have no reason to misinform you people, but I saw that dinosaur bite off one of the children's heads and swallow it. And one by one, they were all destroyed and half eaten and ripped apart. The adults sitting there were beyond hysterical. And then after that show, we adults were taken into a room like reminded me a little bit of a dental office, the type of chair we were sitting in. And there was maybe I don't know. I'm gonna say 2-3 different cubicles. He had more than one chair in it, and so we were not all in one big room with all these chairs. It was different chairs, different little rooms with these chairs in them. But in the one I was in, I think there was 3 adults of us in there, and they put some type of contraption. Oh, I don't know how to describe it. I want to say it reminded me of like a little tiny if any of you older people, I know you younger ones probably won't, because the HVAC systems around the world now are so different. But when I was a child, in the basement of our home, there was a great big furnace with a lot of little tubes running out from it that ran all into different parts of the house to heat the house. And this was like a little small contraption like that put on top of our heads, and it had little tubes running off from it. And of course, we were on pause, as I call it, where we couldn't really react or talk or do anything. We were aware of what was happening to us, but we couldn't do anything about it. And so then they turned on and the equipment, and I saw different lights from these tubes begin to absorb like the energy off of us, and I saw different colors, and I realized that that energy I was seeing coming off of us into those tubes had something, or I either somehow knew it, or either they told me, subliminally they may have told me, I don't know, but I knew that the energy had something to do with what we had witnessed had happened to the children. Somehow I just knew that. And I don't remember how long it was we were hooked to to that equipment. Um, I do remember uh, I heard kind of talking or arguments a little bit here and there, like maybe one of the I remember one man in particular who was one of my neighbors, and I remember him saying out loud, "Stop that." Uh, I heard that, but I didn't see what they were doing to him. But I heard different little things like that coming from different rooms. So I'm not sure exactly uh, what was happening to everybody, but I didn't remember a whole lot after that. Um, I remember that we were all crowded, including the children, back into this smaller UFO that had picked us up, and we were back over the trailer park, but we were way up very high, and all of a sudden the floor we were standing on became invisible. It looked like we're standing on air and there was nothing under us. And screams let out because people thought we were going to fall. Even I, to this day, have, for the first time that happened to me, I have a fear of heights. That's the way it affected me.
Yeah.
I'd never been afraid of heights before. I used to go hiking, uh, and do things like that. Ride these real high rides at county fairs and things like that. And I never could do that after that. And I learned from some of my neighbors later, some of them were affected the same way. Uh, but we were returned. And I remember I was not brought back on a sled. Nobody was as we were taken. I was beamed, like, Star Trek, beam me down, beam me up, Scotty. I was like beamed down right through the ceiling. And I remember slowly going down like on a slow elevator right through the ceiling into my bedroom. And then the very next thing, I wake up and it's morning.
Yeah.
And it's over. And I'm thinking, did that really happen last night? My Lord, what a dream. But I didn't recall any of those details of what happened to the children. I didn't recall. I knew that I had seen the neighbors. I remembered that we had been crowded into what seemed like a UFO, but that's basically about all I remembered.